Hey, welcome to Your In Depth, where we walk through and break down our favorite fictional universes. I am Jacob, and I'm here joined by Evan.
Hello.
That's surprisingly normal. Not him, the intro that he gave. If you're listening for a little bit, you're probably, like if you have been following us for a little bit, you're probably thrown off like I am. If you're new, it's a toss-up what he does when I actually say, and I'm here with my co-host, Evan. Usually it's something weird and, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so we are covering Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 3, if you can't read, because that's probably what the title's going to be. But, yeah. I have a summary to give for this episode, and then we'll do a quick little ad break, and then get into talking about it. So here's, I guess, what we got going. We open with Beric, a horse so powerful he has narrative authority. Elendil tries to calm him down, but Beric rejects hierarchy, ropes, and the concept of being told what to do. This horse has a character arc, which already puts him above half of the cast. He gallops into the Black Forest, a legally distinct spider dungeon, to rescue Isildur, who is cocooned in a cave full of nightmare fuel. A giant spider, capable of instantly liquefying orc skulls, fights Isildur for several minutes, and somehow loses because the script says no. Isildur escapes through the sheer power of frowning, main character insurance, and leaning heavily on Beric, who at this point has canonically done more hero work than the Númenorian navy. They then wander into Pelargir, a city that technically shouldn't exist yet, but does anyway, because timelines are for cowards. We learn that Bronwyn died off-screen, which is bold storytelling shorthand for the actress quit. Theo responds by unlocking advanced sulk mode, while Arondir does grief push-ups. Arondir also is trying to be the father figure that Theo lacks, to which Theo responds, "You're not my dad!" Theo and Isildur set out to rescue Beric, who was taken by Adar loyal Southlanders. In doing this, they're nearly immediately exposed, but then are saved by Ents, who appear briefly to remind you that this is technically Lord of the Rings. Then they wander back into the CGI budget. Back home, Pharazôn pulls the classic move of supporting Queen Muriel publicly while stabbing democracy in the kidneys behind the scenes. His son wants to colonize Middle-earth for trade because nothing says prosperity like investing in a war zone. Blind Muriel gets crowned, a riot breaks out, and then a giant eagle lands nearby. Since Pharazôn is standing closest, the crowd immediately decides, "Yeah, that guy. God likes him." This is how Númenor chooses leaders now, proximity-based to divine vibes. Pharazôn accepts the chanting like a man who just won a rigged raffle. We cut to orc families living normal domestic lives. Orcs have kids, they eat dinner, they love their spouses. Tolkien spins in his grave, then shrugs because biology exists. A massive CGI troll named Damrod shows up, holding a severed head like a gift basket from hell. Everyone nods. This is normal. Over in Eregion, Anatar, who is absolutely not Sauron, stop asking, and Celebrimbor launch Ring MLM Phase 2. Just give us Mithril. We'll give you power. Trust me, bro. Prince Durin immediately says no because he has functional instincts, which makes him a threat. King Durin later says yes because history needs to happen, and Mithril makes people stupid. Sauron almost loses his temper, remembers he's pretending to be benevolent, and resumes smiling like a man pitching crypto in 2021. So a quick recap, Isildur meets Astrid, a stabby girl with an Adar brand. He is instantly attracted because Isildur is canonically horny for bad ideas. Theo sulks so hard that he gets kidnapped by something big because mystery boxes demand sacrifice. Everyone continues walking towards Eregion like lemmings with a prophecy.
I see.
So that's an interesting way. What did you do?
Nothing broke.
What was that?
I'm trying to get my cat out of here because she won't shut up, and I accidentally hit the desk. And some stuff may or may not have fallen.
May not have fallen off. Yeah.
Yep. That's what that was. If the mic picked that up. It probably did.
Yeah, it did. It was loud in my ear.
Me just being a klutz. That's what that was.
Yep. Well, anyway, let's do a quick ad break and then be done. Just to recap a little bit further, Bronwyn died.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and the actress decided to leave acting in 2022, and this is how they wrote it in the story. So they torched her. This episode is once again brought to you by Bronwyn's Bonds. Just because she's dead as a doornail doesn't mean love has to be. Feel that? Just the thought of love warms you right up. Oh, okay, never mind. Hey, wait, weren't you guys in Hordern? Yeah, Minas Tirith Cremation and Euthanasia Center at your funeral service. Wait, is Minas Tirith even around right now? Boy, this is Rings of Power. You think we care about timelines? All right, good point. But, you've kind of just stepped into my ad space and just name dropped yourself. So, well, we could always split the ad slot.
Oh, God, what the heck?
It was a team up to last the ages. A partnership that rivaled none. All right, we can knock this off. It's getting sappy, and the only thing that should be sappy is your pickup lines. Call Bronwyn's Bonds and find your life partner. Until you get tired of living, or just stop living, then call us. Minas Tirith Cremation and Euthanasia Center.
Hey, do you think they used that for King Theoden's death after the battle for Minas Tirith?
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah?
Probably. That'd be
So
my
I feel
guess.
like they didn't use it for his son.
Wait. What do you mean?
I just feel like the service for Theoden's son wasn't good enough. It wasn't flashy enough. They probably didn't use this service. So I wonder if they went with this service for Theoden's funeral. I don't know if Rohan can afford it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I feel like you're looking for a joke in there somewhere, and there was no joke. It was just me.
Yeah, you kind of threw me off because I was used to humor laced with stupidity, not...
Yeah. Well, with that then,
sneeze.
I did look this up while we were listening to the recap of the episode.
Okay.
Because the recap had mentioned Pelargir.
Oh, yeah.
I will say I did double check this because I was curious. Pelargir was founded in the Second Age, which would fit with the show. But it was strictly like Númenorian city. Like in the show, I think around your comments about it having once been like an Elven settlement or something like that. Not the case. Negative.
Now, was it... Because I forget what I had found. Was it... It was later in the Second Age, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
or
a
would
year,
it have established like around
I've got it
here?
pulled up here. Oh, excuse me. It was founded in Second Age 2350.
Yeah, right
by
now
the
it's taking
faithful
place
Númenorians as a haven before the downfall. I'm assuming that's the downfall of Númenor.
Right. But so right now in the show, I'm almost certain, isn't it like maybe 1,000 to 1,500 right now? Somewhere in that range?
Let's see, Rings of Power.
Or maybe that was something else. I remember that number, but it might be something else.
Let's see. What year does Rings, if I can spell, take place? So according to AI Google, it's focusing around the forging of the Rings of Power, circa 1500 to 1600 Second Age. So just like with a lot of these events, they're kind of just...
They're in the Second Age,
together.
but what the number is, it's question mark.
Yeah, so they're doing... Excluding like Gandalf showing up, right? most of the stuff they're doing is Second Age stuff. They're just kind of ignoring the year it took place in the Second Age.
Right.
But I will say, one thing that Amazon, explaining why Amazon is doing it the way they are, is because when they bought the rights to Lord of the Rings, they bought the rights for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. They did not buy the rights for any of the lore stuff. So they kind of have to make some of this stuff up for legal purposes.
Oh.
Like they bought the wrong rights, is what they did. So that's kind of a pretty big reason why they're doing this this show in the way that they have. But yeah. So now Pelargir is founded in the Second Age, so that part tracks. But the specific year, it's about 700 to 800 years off.
So. I just because at the beginning of the episode it was we followed Beric. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really cool to see a freaking horse take out some orcs. I mean, it full on kicked one of them into a spike. It was pretty cool. But it runs into the Black Forest, and there's ham everywhere.
Well, I will say...
Do you get the reference?
I'm not really.
Lunch meat, Black Forest ham.
Sure.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't pay attention. Is that a brand of ham?
It's a freaking type.
I don't pay attention to my food that closely, I guess.
Yeah, I know you don't. You eat like trash.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot better since I got in a committed relationship.
Good for you. Good.
Now, that being said, I still eat like trash, but it has improved a little bit.
See?
I see.
Eat.
Black Forest ham.
Yeah. Anyway. Whoa. Keep going. Just talk.
Well, keeping in line with the horse, name is Beric. I find it interesting how in the entirety of Mordor, this horse is able to find Isildur.
That was interesting because where Isildur is, yikes, and deep in a cave. Like, how did this...
Right. It's not like this is a hunting dog, or like a wolf or something with like keen sense of smell for, tracking purposes and such. Like this is I don't know how well a horse's sniffer is, but I can't imagine it's this good.
Yeah. But yeah.
With that though, Beric finds Isildur in a cave in the Black Forest. Filled with spider eggs, and the spider eggs begin to hatch while Beric is in there. And there's one, I say giant spider, but like horse-sized spider, because we have things like Shelob and the spiders from The Hobbit in here, right? Mm-hmm. So like giant is kind of relative. But I was curious because I noticed when Isildur is fighting that big spider, he catches it in the eye with a sword or a dagger. And I remembered Shelob from Return of the King has a milky eye when it fights Sam. So I looked it up, and though from what I saw, Amazon is going with this spider is Shelob. Much like before it grew into the size we see in Return of the King. Because they went with the same... like design of it with the mandibles and whatnot. They like the body of the spider would fit with like a smaller, younger version, of Shelob from Return of the King. It's got stabbed in the eye from Isildur. It has the milky eye in Return of the King. They're goal is this is a younger Shelob.
Interesting.
And with the lore that has been established for Lord of the Rings, it's not that far-fetched either.
No.
That this spider
So
could be
are you
Shelob.
saying
Because
that
Shelob
they
is one of the
didn't-
characters in Lord of the Rings lore that Tolkien could not... like, there's so many characters throughout all of it that, he can't give proper in-depth backstories and histories of all of them. And Shelob ends up being one of these characters that there's just not a, year-by-year explanation of where the giant spider is. And they're in Mordor. Shelob is in Mordor before Sauron builds his whole evil empire there in the lore. And so it's like, canonically, it could line up. This truly well could be Shelob.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's,
Now, whether or not it makes sense that Isildur causes the Milky Eye, I don't know. But
well,
the rest of it could fit.
Well, it kind of fits with the aggression of the thing,
Yeah.
because it full on, like, you know how in The Last of Us, is it the bloater, not bloater? What's the big dude?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
What's that? Hold on.
I watched
Big
season 1 of
dude.
Last of Us,
Last of
and I
Us.
played like the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's a bloater.
So I'm not really too knowledgeable in the terms.
It's fine. Yeah, a bloater. Do you remember in the show then, since you saw season 1, how Perry goes to shoot the bloater and he runs out of ammo and then the thing like grabs him and just like, because it like gets his fingers, I think, in his mouth and then rips him apart. This thing did that to the orc, but grabbing its eye sockets and just tearing like the cap, like the top of its head off.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, well, because when we covered The Hobbit, right, and we saw the spiders in The Hobbit that Bilbo fights and that the company fight, right, when they're in Mirkwood, those spiders are offsprings of Shelob.
Right.
And they've grown pretty large as well. And it's like, I kind of like that this is kind of establishing some stepping stones for a not too established character in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because from the lore of Shelob, it's like originally born or created, whatever you want to call it, like pre-War of Wrath, so pre-Morgoth. And then we don't know that much about what it was up to. And then when Sauron built Barad-dûr in Mordor, that's the big, for people that aren't familiar with it, it's the big black castle thing where in, I think, Fellowship of the Ring.
Big Black
when they're
Castle,
talking-
BBC.
Yeah. I think it's in Fellowship when Gandalf is talking about Gollum being captured by Sauron and tortured. The big black castle where we hear Gollum say, Baggins Shire. That's Barad-dûr. For anybody that's trying to remember what that is. But before that was built, Shelob had her lair in Mordor. And then skip. She's in Return of the King, or in the books it's the Two Towers. But she's in
Never
Return of the
forget.
King in the movies. And she fights Sam, stabs Frodo, and then that's it for her story. Basically. There might be a little bit more in there, but not much.
Right.
So it's kind of nice that they're adding a little more of Shelob to our established lore.
Yeah. Also, when Isildur gets attacked, and is it Shelob at that point that's on his back?
Yeah, because you got the little big spiders, and then the one big spider.
Right. There's
That
one
big
crawling
one.
up it. And really,
Yeah.
why wasn't he just like spamming E or holding it? Because like if Ark's taught me anything lately, it's that
You
you
just
can
hold
fight
E and
off.
it gets them off of you.
Exactly.
Where's
He
his
needs to-
keyboard at? Where's his controller? On the controller, it's X. Where?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't played too much of that game.
This scene just reminds me, though, of The Mandalorian, when Mando crashes the Razor Crest on that ice planet, and it's got those gross spider things.
Yep.
It's just like, I wonder if Amazon producers watch The Mandalorian like, we're going to add our own spiders. That right there.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, but then he does get out of there. He's able to leave. I don't know if it was right in here, because what I did was I took all my notes and then condensed them by section. But some of them were like one-offs.
Right.
And so like one of them, for example, my next thing is the troll.
Mm-hmm.
And the note that I have about that is a genuine thing I've spent more time than I should thinking about. This thing was very, very detailed. Mm-hmm. Someone's job was to CGI that thing's nipples. Think about it. Did you see how detailed they were?
I wasn't looking at the nipples. I'll have to go back and check, I guess.
Don't you lie to yourself.
Oh, goodness.
It was detailed. That's my point.
I could have gone the rest of my life without thinking about that. But now it's in my brain.
It's just
in there now.
Some low saturation pepperoni. Just freaking whatever. Anyway. I just thought that was interesting.
You didn't play Baldur's Gate 3, did you?
No.
Oh, man. There's a spot in Baldur's Gate 3. So the game's broken up into 3 acts. But in the first act, you can go up to this barn, and when your character stands next to the barn, you can
hear
where you're
some going with this.
Inappropriate activity going on.
Going. Yeah.
And when you were like, did you see that thing's nipples? I was like, why am I thinking of Baldur's Gate 3 right now when you said that? Why?
Oh, because you keep... Whatever. Never mind.
I will say that.
Orc nipples stick out to you, but troll don't?
No. The scene in Baldur's Gate 3, you don't actually see any nudity.
Oh.
But it's implied something inappropriate is going on inside that barn.
Yeah, okay.
And if you click to open the door, because that's an option, it doesn't show anything like... It doesn't show nudity there. But it shows what's called a bugbear. It's like think of an orc, but covered in fur. Right?
Okay.
Getting it on with an ogre, a.k.a. a troll, essentially. Like, Lord of the Rings trolls are basically Dungeons and Dragons ogres.
Yeah.
And so when you're like, did you see that thing's nipples? It's like, why is my brain correlating this?
You're thinking because a troll. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, either way, somebody's job was to detail this thing's nips, and I thought that was interesting to think about because I don't know.
I hope it was just like one guy's job to generate the whole troll, and they didn't just have like one specific person for the nipples only. I'm hoping it was just one guy's job to do the whole thing. Because I feel so bad. If it was just one guy, all he had to do was generate the nipples for this troll, I would feel so bad for that guy. Like, oh, God.
They just have a department, and they're like, all right, you guys handle the troll, and then you just hear, not it.
The director comes in, who wants a special project? One guy, what's the special project? All right, your special project is troll nipples. Thanks for volunteering. Schwank.
They actually had to hire out specifically for that, and so he had to turn in a resume that's just a bunch of them that he's done. Anyway.
Anyways.
So Isildur is struggling. He's like kind of falling off of the horse almost, and he needs some water, and he just about drinks people water. Because we had seen that a lot of the killed Southlanders and just people were thrown in the rivers. and lakes.
Well, and because I think the one that the screen primarily settles on is like the remains of a Númenorian soldier. Because you can see like the hilt of the sword still in scabbard, and you can see like some of the I can't think of what the specific name is. It's like the padded under jacket that goes under the armor. I can't think of what it's called now. But like Númenor has a specific pattern and stuff to it.
Okay. Well, anyway, Isildur ends up finding a woman, Estrid, and takes an arrow, knife, to the knee, thigh. And this was kind of one where I started searching, and a lot of people do not like her character. There's some stuff going on with that where they're like, we get it, because, like, Isildur has heirs, but, like, because they're, like, implying where it's probably going to go and whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't, obviously, this is the first episode we're introduced to her, but I wasn't immediately like, I hate her. Like, I don't understand that fully, but maybe there's more to come, you know. Yeah.
I don't mind the character in season 2. I don't think she's necessary by any means to season 2, but I don't mind her character throughout the season.
Well,
it's not like it's just I would say it's not like it's just a garbage character that's absolutely horribly written, right? I wouldn't go that far, but...
And that's not what any of these were saying. They were like... she did serve a little bit of a purpose in this, though, because it's later on, but Estrid, Theo, and Isildur, I think, are probably going to trauma bond a little bit. Because Isildur tells us about how his mother died, which in the first season... what's his dad's name? Elendil?
Elendil, yeah.
Yeah, was talking about that, and Isildur says that she was trying to save him, and she drowned. And then he ends up... Well, he kind of like, he dumps that, and then it's like, I don't know, you get a little more to him and stuff, so there was like a purpose of her character. I don't know. But.
Well, and in that scene too, where like Isildur drops that, like, I'm the reason my mom died, Theo shows up like kind of at that point and is listening in.
Oh yeah,
right
and
before
he's
him and
Isildur
are supposed to go
thing.
off. Yeah, and so when you said they're like, you think they're going to trauma bond, at least Theo and Isildur have that thing in common where they feel responsible for their mother's death. And then Estrid, we don't really know anything about her backstory, but you can just look at her, and especially when we see in this episode she has that symbol branded onto her back, which we know is the symbol, like Adar's branding of like, you're loyal to Adar. You're like she's got some demons in the closet too.
Right.
And so, like, I don't think it's that far of a stretch to assume there's going to be some sort of, like, bond being formed between those three characters.
Right. I also thought that in this, when they're talking about... Because obviously Theo is feeling guilty about... He feels that it's his fault that his mother's now dead. Speaking of, Bronwyn's dead. I did think it was interesting on, like, how kind of easily it was written in... Of being like, well, because she like took an arrow and was wounded when everything hit the fan, and so it's kind of like, well, I mean, the orcs poisoned the arrow. Okay, checks out.
Well, I mean, that's not even unrealistic either within Lord of the Rings, you know, or even if you go back to say Middle Ages or whatever, it's pretty common for some of your more scummy factions, aka orcs, to quote-unquote poison their arrows, like kind of dip it in some excrement or, rotting meat or, whatever. So that way when
something
it
to make
hits,
it infected. And
it's not just the arrow dealing damage. You got to treat the infection that's going to follow afterwards, otherwise you're done.
Right.
So... Like that's not that far out of place. I just thought it was kind of dumb that they recast Adar.
Oh, see, 2. I didn't even notice that one.
Yeah, they recast Adar in season 2, but they did this whole thing for a Bronwyn story, and then when the actress says "I'm done," they just kill her off screen. It's like, if you're gonna recast one character, why not recast another that you solely have made up? Like Adar is not in the lore of Lord of the Rings. Bronwyn is not in the lore of Lord of the Rings. These are show exclusive characters. Why not recast? I feel like
with Adar, because of how he's dressed up, I feel like it's hard to notice a difference. Whereas her, you would for sure be able to tell. And maybe alongside that, like Adar's kind of a bigger character. I don't know.
I mean, I can see that side of it. And I mean, like, I noticed the change of actor for Adar instantly, just because, like I said, with season 1,
you see the other one was in
the other actor was in Game of Thrones, so like I immediately realized not the same actor, you know.
Yeah.
But I could see that side of it too, though, where it's like people are gonna notice if we just recast this character.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, I feel like they just kind of did the character dirty. Because they did all this work in season 1, to establish the character, get a character arc going, you know, get to this point where she's like trying to lead a resistance against the orcs, and instead of getting like a proper on-screen death, whether heroic or just succumbing to the illness, we just get a wrapped body on a pyre. You know, to me it just kind of feels like an incomplete story.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that, though, I will say Theo or Arondir's trying to like support Theo and like help him through this obviously horrific time in his life, right? Like just lost his mother, the only parent he's had. Theo just like straight up pushes Arondir away. He's like, did you know who my father was? All those times of watching our village, did you ever know who my father was? And Arondir's like, no, I didn't. He was like, well, I know he's not you, so as far as I'm concerned, we never got to talk again. Screw off. It's like, dang, dude, like this guy saved your life. He tried to save your mom. He kind of took the role of like a fatherly figure in your life. You know, I understand grief makes people do things, right? Like, grief can cause people to act irrationally and things like that.
Yeah.
But to me, this seemed a little extreme.
Yeah, I agree. We do cut to Númenor, though. That's kind of, I think, the next one, maybe? The next, like, sequence of stuff?
Jump to Númenor.
Mm-hmm.
Because you admit, I did have one thing with, like, the troll that shows up with the orcs with Adar.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one thing that really irks me that they did in this show.
Does it irk you?
No, I hate it. I'm not going to entertain that play on words, Jacob, because I hate it that much. But yes, it irks me. No, before the troll shows up, that kind of like second in command orc to Adar that we always see.
Yeah.
Like his right hand man. He's talking to Adar about like, you told us Sauron is dead. You know, why are we still trying to find him? Yada yada yada. And Adar basically says it's a father's job to worry about things the son does not need to worry about. It's the son's job to trust in the father. And then Adar wanders off. But then it shows that orc go over to a female orc and an orc baby and try and give you this like family unit going on. And it's like Tolkien went so far out of his way in the establishing the lore of Lord of the Rings. Orcs would not have a family unit. Orcs would not do anything that you would consider even remotely a semblance of love.
Yeah.
Orcs are purely, horrifically evil. Like, this would not be a thing. Period. And it bothers me so much that they put this in the show.
Yeah, that was a pretty stupid call.
Because it's just if you ask me, it's just a slap in the face of Tolkien and his established work. Because this isn't even like stretching the work and trying to, work with what you got. This is just grabbing something that directly opposes what he created and what he established, and you're just saying, nope, that's in there now.
Purpose. I also don't understand the purpose of this, because are you trying to like humanize orcs? Because they're like, I don't understand.
I feel like this
purpose
whole
this
show.
would have.
I feel like this whole show tries to humanize orcs. Mm-hmm. And in all honesty, regardless of what we talk about, of like, I didn't like this part, I didn't like that part, I liked this part, I liked that part. That is the one thing of this show that bothers me the absolute most, is how much they try to humanize the orcs. Because again, it goes against the very essence of what Tolkien established orcs to be. Like you're not supposed to feel some sort of connection or kinship or, bond or whatever you want to call it. There should be nothing when you see an orc that you're like, I see myself in that orc a little bit. Like nothing should be there unless you're an absolute psychopath murderer that loves torture and killing babies. That's like the one exception.
Yeah.
But, no, I kind of went off there a little bit, but I feel like that was something I really wanted to make sure was mentioned in this episode because it bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Now, and if you ask me, that's just a complete blunder.
Yeah. Question: is there more things like that coming
in the rest of season 2?
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically if it's like a family unit baby orc type of thing, but there is more like trying to humanize them.
Trying to humanize them.
Yeah, there is more of that. I don't remember specifically if it's got like
I was
mama
primarily
orc,
meaning,
baby orc.
I was primarily meaning, is there more in it that genuinely irritates you as much as this did? Or does this take the cake?
This takes the cake for both seasons for me. If I had an all-time low moment in the entirety of the show, it's this part right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I whether it's Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or Star Wars or whatever, when a third party comes in and just throws something like this into it that 100% does not fit, should not be in there, period. To me, that's such an insult to the original creator. Mm-hmm. That's such an insult to the work that they made. Whether the original work is good or bad, it doesn't matter. That's such an insult to that person and what they established. That stuff just bothers me a lot. But I wanted to get out of the way here so we could proceed with other stuff.
Yeah. Well, next up is Númenor. And I think that Muriel knows Farazan is kind of shady. She seems to kind of catch on that he's... Because there was like one thing that's like, well, which one of those two has the other's ear? Like, kind of, what are they conspiring about? Which we do see him literally conspiring. Mm-hmm. And the sister, I forget her name.
Earian?
Arian? Or Arian? Arian.
Earian. It's Isildur's sister.
Earrings.
Yeah. Earrings, yep.
Anyway, she stole the Palantir, and she is, or at least hinting that she can use it to sway the
crowd
vote, or the crowd, basically. Now, she has it for sure because she shows it when they go to coronate the queen.
Well, and we even see Muriel goes back to that chamber to like check in on it, and it's gone. But before we know that, Earrings has it as well. So it's like at first it's like Palantir's gone, and then it's like, oh, Earrings has it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something I noticed. Okay, so the unfolding of it is that she brings this and accuses the queen. There's strife, and then a giant eagle lands and picks Pharazôn, basically. Or at least notices him, and they are like, oh, divine whatever,
Right.
Well, and I'm wondering if there's more of like a chess move on his part. Obviously there was. They're conspiring, and this followed through and worked. But remember when he was with the queen and he's trying to get her to either choose white or red? Mm-hmm. And he's just like, so which would you like to wear for you? Whatever. And they're going back and forth and whatever. Did you notice that, so obviously she ended up choosing white. Did you notice that he was wearing red? Mm-hmm. So you know more about it than I do, because this episode is, like, you've seen all of them, and I'm keeping up as we cover them. I'm wondering if that has more of a play in it, because like they know what the the eagle's gonna choose, and it's red, and then he's just like, well, I don't know.
I will say, with the eagle showing up, especially having just watched the episode before we started recording, because that scene you're talking about where he's saying white or red, right? They do comment on if an eagle showed up at the coronation, it would be, an auspicious omen, basically like blessing your rule type of thing. They kind of make a comment about that there.
I didn't pick up on that one.
I truly believe, and I can say this because I don't think we don't get a definitive answer in season 2.
Okay.
On it. But I truly believe that the eagle shows up because Muriel is originally supposed to be crowned here. And it actually showed up to bless her rule. But one of the co-conspirators for Pharazôn sees it show up, and before anything can say anything, he starts chanting Pharazôn to get everybody to think that it's shown up to bless Pharazôn's rule. And it's all, like, its actual purpose was for Muriel, but he's taken it and tricked everybody into saying it's for Pharazôn. It is what I think has happened here. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but to me that's what it kind of implied.
That would make sense.
Well, and I think it makes... I think there's more credit to it as well, knowing, and I've said this before, knowing that Númenor falls under Pharazôn's rule. Like, while Pharazôn is king, that's when Númenor is washed away by the sea. And I think that just kind of adds more credence to my theory. And actually, interesting fact, I don't know if it's that interesting really, but whatever. The reason Númenor is destroyed is because Pharazôn decides to attack the Undying Lands, where the elves go.
Yeah.
He's like, we want heaven, we coming in. And God's like, nah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think that eagle was there for Muriel, and Pharazôn and his conspirators just twisted the whole thing, to get the people on their side.
I think that makes sense. I could see that. Next up we have Eregion. Durin is there, and his discernment is on point. Like 150 million %.
Dude, I swear Prince Durin is the only logical person in this whole freaking show.
Yes.
I swear. Take all the comedy out of it, like take the comical one-liners and stuff, put that to the side. Prince Durin is the only dude talking sense for almost the entire show.
Yes. And especially in this, where he's like,
oh, man,
I don't trust that guy. Not going to say that one. But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, then
my thing with Doran, like, I don't trust that guy.
Mm-hmm.
My thing with that is, like, if you look at the way that they kind of dressed the actor up to play Anatar, and like the contacts or the editing they did for his eyes, he's supposed to come across as like this friendly guy that's here to help you. But when I see him depicted this way, he just looks evil to me.
He does.
Especially the eyes. The eyes just look... They look like they want to devour
he pretty
your
much
soul.
Yeah, like you see him and you immediately think of, oh, he's a con man messiah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's what his whole like thing he's trying to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting here, I think it's after Durin leaves, how Sauron continues to leverage that previous trust, like we had talked in the last episode, in Celebrimbor, because he like basically is like, listen, man, well, like he builds him up and basically is like toying with his pride, like in a way, like emphasizing it, and then he's like, listen, I gotta come clean. They don't want you to make more rings.
Right.
And he's already got that pride like up there, so then immediately he's defensive and he's like, no, we're continuing, and he's just toying with him.
Yeah.
And this is another instance of it. We already know it, obviously. But he leverages his pride, and then just basically how that turns out, he ends up lying to his king, which in this it's weird because Sauron actually kind of looks surprised. Like it actually almost looks genuine, but it's like, I don't think it is.
Right. Because we know how much of a con man Sauron / Anatar is, right?
/ Halbrand. Yeah.
/ Halbrand, yeah. I feel like that's just part of the act.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what
especially
I was
going
wondering
forward. Well, especially going forward with these scenes between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Without giving any spoilers, you will often see Anatar does this or says this, character reacts in this way, Anatar just kind of goes along with it or gives a little bit of a pushback, but not enough to really change their idea.
Well, right. But also, the thing with this one was weird because he was pacing behind Celebrimbor. So it's like Celebrimbor wouldn't even have seen him. Like, there's not really necessarily, like, an act to keep... Like, there's no audience for the act in that situation. So that was kind of like where I was like, oh, I don't know. But I doubt... I don't know. Obviously, this was kind of the intended outcome. Or maybe he's looking surprised, like, dang, this is working better than I thought.
I mean, it could be that, or it could be a surprise of, like... I guess it kind of goes in that, dang, this is working better than I thought, but a surprise of, like, I wasn't expecting him to lie to his king, but this is working great. like maybe there is a genuine surprise of just how well the plan is working, like you said.
Yeah.
And because, like I pointed out in the previous episode, it's like, Anatar's not saying, hey... you should lie to your king so we can do this. It's like you said, it's like he builds up the pride, so Celebrimbor immediately goes on the defensive, and Celebrimbor comes up with his own idea that fits right into Sauron's plan.
Yep.
And it's like the masterful deception here is just on point. Like it's plain view for the watchers. Could not do it better.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it, but I feel like it has to make the viewer wonder, when does it stop? Like, what fate is going to befall Celebrimbor once they're done?
Oh, probably that little vision that Galadriel had of him entwined in horrendous, spiky, whatever, you know.
Because, like, when I first watched the show, when I saw the episodes for the very first time, trying to think of like what's going to come next, my mind never went to Celebrimbor gets out of this alive.
No, guaranteed he doesn't.
Well, like just watching it for the first time, there was never a scene in my mind of like, he's going to make it out of this. He's going to be okay. It's like everything was like, what is going to happen to him? Like, how horrific is his death going to be? You know, is there going to be torture involved? You know, all these things of like, and even if somehow he does survive this, it's like the High King's never going to trust him again.
No.
With anything.
No, he's screwed regardless. Yeah. But if he's alive and screwed is the question.
Yeah. But with this, though,
now,
we do...
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to stick with Eregion, but I was just going to keep going with Eregion.
Go for it, because the next thing I say is on Durin the Third, which kind of ties into this, but it's mostly about the state of the mountain.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I mean, mine was going to go with Durin the Third as well, but it's at the end of the episode when he is in Eregion.
Okay.
Durin the Third brings him more mithril. You know, to make the rings for the dwarves. And he hands it over to Celebrimbor, and Celebrimbor goes to put it in the furnace, but Anatar's like, here, I'll do it.
Yep.
You can trust me, I'll do it. It's okay, buddy, don't strain yourself. And it's like as soon as Celebrimbor hands it off to Anatar, because we know who Anatar is,
yep,
you automatically know those rings are corrupted.
Yep.
Those rings are screwed. Whoever puts those on are screwed. Sauron has put his influence on the metal to craft them. Done for. There's no hope for these rings now.
Right.
And I just thought, again, just kind of going into his like deceptive nature and stuff, just like that just makes sense. Something as simple as putting the metal in the forge. With someone that has the magic that he has, that has the influence that he has. Right on track and just, again, right into his plan.
My comment, so that was my final comment on the entirety of the notes, was what you just said. But before that, all I was saying, we get a glimpse of how dire things are in Khazad-dûm. Because they're needing to dip into their food reserves. And even at that point, like when they do, they'll last a maximum of 3 months.
Yeah.
So they're like, they don't have crops, they can't make food, and their food's only going to last them 3 months. In this too, Durin the Fourth makes up with his dad, admits that he's stubborn, but also says, I do not trust these rings. Doesn't really stop Durin the Third, though, but,
no.
You know.
But, I mean, in Durin the Third's defense, you know,
well, I mean, their situation
he's on the
is
ropes.
Dire.
Yeah, they've tried one thing after another and nothing has worked. Like, he's grasping at straws right now just to keep his people fed. You know, so it's like, it's not like Durin the Third is just doing this on a whim. You know, like, this is a last-ditch effort to save his people.
Yeah.
And Anatar's appearance aside for the show, right? It's like these guys are giving you a solution. They're saying, this can work for you. It worked for the elves. The elves are saved now. We will do this for you. Just supply the material that we need. And we'll do it for you. Free of charge. You know, like, you give us material, we'll craft it. The rings are yours. We don't need anything else after that. Maybe a little more mithril. You know, but not a whole lot. And you can save your kingdom. And it's like, when you approach someone that has to be as desperate as Durin the Third is, with a solution like that, how is he going to say no?
Right.
Because it's like, take a risk on this or watch your entire kingdom perish. Not really that hard of a choice. You know, and who would expect this Anatar figure to be the Dark Lord, you know, that helped Morgoth enslave most of the world? You know, like, who's going to guess that in this situation?
Right.
But, yeah.
But
I will say, though, that the scene where King and Prince Doran's kind of make up, you know, and Prince Doran's like, I'm as stubborn as you are, I'm as hard as you are, I'm as prideful as you are.
yeah.
It's like he's making digs at his dad kind of offhandedly, but he's like, I'm just like you are, old man,
own
but
fault.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I do like that Prince Doran, doesn't apologize for his point, but it's on the it's the manner at which he tried to make his point.
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't, he still feels the way that he does. He's not going to, he hasn't changed his mind, but he does say, like, yeah, I'm sorry for how I disrespected you. I'm sorry for how I handled it.
And I think, truthfully, I think that's Durin the Third's issue with the whole thing to begin with. It's not that his son disagrees with him. It's that his son was blatantly disrespectful in his disagreement.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like when people watched this show for the first time, for seasons 1 and 2, they didn't really care for King Durin. I feel like that was a common thing I was seeing online, where a lot of people did not like the character. But I really like the way that they do King Durin in the show. And I really like the way that they work his character and everything like that, because they play him... Because I feel like we're supposed to root for Prince Durin, and you often see King and Prince at odds with one another, and so it instantly makes you not like King, because you're supposed to root for Prince. But it's like when you look at King Durin's actions alone, take Prince Durin out of it, when you look at the King's actions alone, it's all for his people. You know, whether you think he's doing the right thing or not, he genuinely believes that all of these things he's doing is for the safety of his people. And I truly think the main reason people don't like the character is because we're supposed to root for Prince, and he opposes King on so many different things.
Right. Yeah.
Also, some people had a problem with there being 2 Durins at this time in the show. Because the dwarven belief is that the whole Durin thing is not you just name your kid Durin after yourself or whatever. The dwarves believe that King Durin the First, like the first dwarven king, is reincarnated into another Durin, who then once they die, at some point he will be reincarnated into a Durin the Third. And then once he dies, he'll be reincarnated. You know, so like they have a reincarnation belief specifically for Durin. And so I know a lot of like more hardcore fans are not happy with there being 2 Durins at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't really care because I enjoy the dwarves and they're funny to watch.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else. So if you have any final thoughts, you go for it. But
I'll do one last little pan through the notes here just to make sure, but I think we kind of hit everything.
Yeah.
I guess it really doesn't require too much discussion. I just thought it was interesting when Elendil's daughter, Earrings, pulls out the Palantir, right, at the coronation, and is like, she's taking elf advice. And then the Palantir falls on the ground, it rolls to Elendil, and he goes to grab it, and I think it almost like blows him backwards. Like it pushes him back when he tries to grab it. I don't... If it explains that later in the show, I don't remember what the explanation behind that is. Because I don't remember getting a reasoning why for that. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I certainly don't have answers.
I do also wonder if this Palantir is the same one that we see in Return of the King. The one that, or I guess Two Tower... Fellowship of the Ring, actually. We see it. Like Gandalf shows up at Isengard. And Saruman has the Palantir. I wonder if they're the same one, but I highly doubt it because there's multiple Palantirs within lore. But I would be curious to know if it's the same Seeing Stone or not. I thought it was kind of funny, but also tragic at the same time. When they're having the funeral for Muriel's dad, for the king.
Yeah.
And that one chick shows up and she's obviously crying, and she just slaps Muriel across the face.
Oh, yeah.
Just big old... It's like, oh, jeez. And then you find out it's because her freaking son died on Muriel's expedition to Middle-earth. It's like, oh, God, that sucks.
Yeah. But you also, like, see Muriel's side where it's like she truly is, like, she's a good leader because, like, she saw the horrors of it.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly, like that lady doesn't know what happened to her son.
Right.
Muriel knows what probably happened to her son. And so, like, she just, instead of, like, letting the guards seize her or getting upset, she hugs her, and it's like complete understanding. It's like her heart's with her people.
And that's something that really bothers me, too, with the whole Pharazôn taking over and, like, supplanting Muriel. Because it's like you see a scene like this where she shows genuine care for her people, right? Because she easily could have just had this woman arrested and taken off to the dungeons and moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But she takes the time to, like, who did you lose? Oh, your son. Like, I'm going to comfort you in your grief. And you have a scene like that where she shows, like you said, genuine care for her people. But then, like, 2 scenes later, the people are saying, no, we don't want you as a ruler anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like they kind of rushed the transition of power from Muriel to Pharazôn in this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, an event like that is not just going to be a secret. You know, like, that's going to spread. Like, the queen just got slapped at her own father's funeral, and instead of punishing the person, she comforts them in their grief. You know, like, that's a pretty big move. And yeah. I feel like that would spread insanely fast across the city.
Yeah.
But,
well,
yeah, I kind of think they rushed that transition.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than those couple things, I think that's kind of everything I had for the episode.
Yeah, it's certainly everything I had. If you are still listening to our podcast right now as we are talking, why don't you weigh in? Curious what you thought of this episode. If you're watching it alongside us or you just remember the episode, go ahead and leave a comment. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, that's fully possible. I don't think that Apple lets you, but you could let us know in the review section, you know.
And if you disagree with us, we can tell you all the reasons why you're wrong.
Yeah. Or I can just redirect and make fun of Evan. Like,
well, I mean, there's that too. Okay, fair enough.
These are all Evan's beliefs. I'm just tagging along. Attack him, not me.
But yeah, let us know what you guys thought. If you had any theories after seeing this episode, I'd be curious to know what other theories are out there, truthfully. Yeah. But I will ask highs and lows for the episode, Jacob.
Oh, high was definitely the freaking the spider popping open the orc like it's a candy jar. That was cool.
Okay.
Low, the orc baby. And I didn't even necessarily see it as just pure diarrhea on Tolkien. Because I didn't necessarily, like, it didn't sound right. Like, it didn't seem right to me. But overall, just little, like, having like, it didn't make sense. Like, I didn't have the pre-established, like, every bit of the lore behind it to be like, this doesn't check out at all. But, like, seeing it, I'm like, why, this is so ridiculously out of place
Yeah, like it has
Like
no
I picked up
need
on
to
that
be
and I
there.
hated it. Like it was
Yeah.
dumb. But I wasn't like enraged like you.
Oh my gosh.
But I disliked it. What about you? I think that's
I
probably
mean,
your low point.
Absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
Like
So
I
what's
said
your high?
earlier, not even just in this episode, in the whole show. That's my low point.
Yeah.
My high point, I don't think it's the spiders, just because spiders creep me out. So I don't think I can go with that as a high point. I mean, it's just like when we did The Mandalorian with those spider-like creatures in that one episode. It was like, that just creeps me out so much. So I don't think I can go with that. I think my high point would actually be the kind of the start of some sort of bond between Isildur and Theo.
Yeah.
I thought that was the way they did that, just felt so genuine. The way that they
It really
had kind
did.
of Isildur explaining what happened to his mom,
And
showing
it directly
Theo's
relating
reaction.
to what Theo
Yeah.
is feeling.
I just felt like that was just, when I watched it, it felt genuine. It felt like there was actual hurt there, and it wasn't just actors playing a role.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I really enjoyed the way that they did that scene right there by the campfire.
Yeah. No, that was a good
So.
scene.
I think that would be my high for the episode. Tragic,
Okay.
but it's my high point.
Well, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the end of our episode then. So if you are interested in Star Wars, we'll see you next week. Be sure to come check that out. We're going to cover some Clone Wars. And if you're interested in only Rings of Power, actually, hold on. We hadn't really talked about the schedule of that. Were we going to double down on Rings of Power and try to knock that out before Maul, or are we wanting to do something else? My concern is, like, hey, you're in the, I listened to a podcast where they talk the ending of it, where they're just like done with the show and they just chat a little bit. They call it the deep end. So you're here now.
Yep.
I guess my
Welcome to our
concern with
deep
it
end.
is, yeah. My concern with it is if we front load, so if we're trying to do all this before Maul comes out, obviously that's a kind of a hot topic that would be probably good to cover at that point, because it would be more likely that people would click, and hey, some more exposure means that maybe we can do this more professionally, and that'll never happen. But I mean more so, like, maybe this could become something.
Yeah.
However, if we do Star Wars, we would, obviously that's all right on track with, it's almost like we would be on the Star Wars side of YouTube or podcasts and stuff. To double down on Rings of Power would shift that right before we're wanting to shift it back, and I think that's weird. But I don't know exactly how to handle it, because how do we cover this before Maul? And,
I think what we need to do is stick with our normal releases for Clone Wars and Rings of Power. And when we get to Maul, just do a second release each week. And that second release would be Maul.
Just during the period that Maul is running?
Yes. And then once Maul
okay.
finishes, we go back to that once a week. That way we're not front loading Lord of the Rings right before Maul. We're not just putting a pause on Clone Wars.
We're pretty much just blending what we're covering.
Yeah, because Clone Wars is so long anyways. Even if we take a month or 2 months off of Clone Wars to cover Maul, we're just missing that many episodes.
So are you saying then, is your suggestion okay, so we keep doing what we're doing now, like Clone Wars 1 week, Rings of Power next week.
Yeah.
Once it gets to, well, actually we continue that all the way through. But when it comes to Maul, we cover Maul, and then like, so would it look like 1 week is Rings of Power, Maul, next week is the Clone Wars, Maul?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion. Now, obviously,
So
every other
Maul
week
is the
during
additional.
Maul. Yeah.
So Maul is the additional on top of just what we've been doing already.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
because if there was more Rings of Power, right? If we had more than 5 more episodes after this one publishes, maybe in that case, we replace Clone Wars with Maul, just because there's more Rings of Power to get through. But by the time Maul comes out, we'll have like 2, maybe 3 episodes of Rings of Power left that'll need to get published. So I think just I just think the easiest way to do it is keep our normal release schedule, and then as Maul comes out each week, we post a second video for Maul.
Okay.
I think that would be the easiest way to do it. I will say, because Maul releases April 6th, but they're doing 2 episodes on release. Yeah.
Neat.
Which kind of makes it hard for us, unless for Maul that first week we cover both episodes and put them into one recording.
And
that one will just be longer.
Well, actually, yeah, because, well...
I guess it wouldn't even be longer. It would just be the normal length of like a Clone Wars episode.
Yeah, because we already covered like multiple episodes in a...
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could just do that.
And then like the other...
And that week, because we would have such a...
releases for Maul would be... They'd be shorter episodes because it'd just be 1 episode at a time of the show.
Because it's a mini series, ain't it?
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes long, and it's like it's like the Tales of Jedi, Tales of Empire ones, where it's going to be like 25-ish minutes per episode, 25 minutes per episode. So,
okay, that sounds good. I think we got a game plan. I have a question that just came to me before we end the episode. I want to ask you, what would it take for you to no longer be a Star Wars fan? What would they have to do to entirely ruin it for you? Because I can tell you right now my answer, but I'm going to give you a little bit.
Oh gosh. To never like go back to Star Wars,
or to lose all faith. I'll rephrase it, because there's existing content that it's like this is still good. To lose all faith in upcoming projects and think, I don't think I ever want to see new media from Star Wars again. We're in Rings of Power. I don't know why I'm asking this here, but it falls in line because we were just talking about this.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think if they had another probably 2 Acolyte-like shows that they released that were that bad, I feel like that's what it would take. Like 2 of them back to back, nothing good in between.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
My answer is Tales of Jar Jar.
Oh, God.
If they did that, I'd be like, these guys are off their rocker. Like they the
sad thing is, though, they kind of
that
did
it's
that.
realistic.
No, they kind of did that in the Clone Wars.
Well, they did, yeah.
In season 6, they have that 2-episode arc of Mace Windu and Jar Jar.
Yeah.
And Jar Jar's weird love interest thing. Yeah. Oh, gosh. If they took those 2 episodes and put those as, like, the... Oh, what do you call it? Like the first 2 episodes of a show, and they just went off with that, oh my gosh, that would... I don't know if that would ruin Star Wars completely for me. I don't know if that would just be like, I've lost 100% faith. But you'd need something about the size of a penny to hit me and I'd fall off the wall. Like I feel like that would put me this close. For anybody looking, I'm doing a tiny little indication with my thumb and pointer finger.
Yeah.
It'd be that close and I'd just fall off the wall.
Yeah.
But no, I think for me it would have to be 2 whole shows or 2 whole seasons
that are just absolute duds.
Yeah, that are just absolute garbage. And I was actually talking to my buddy Hunter about something similar to this, but with video games. And we were talking about like Halo, Call of Duty, Gears of War. And we were just sitting up at late one night chit-chatting about it. And he had asked me a similar question. It was like, do you think these franchises are dead? Like, is there any hope to salvage these franchises? And we talked about that kind of back and forth of like, this one, no, this one is like one more bad game and it's 100% dead. This one, maybe 2 more bad games back to back and it's gone. Mm-hmm. You know, so I thought it was kind of funny that was your question. Cause like I said, like maybe 3 weeks ago, me and my buddy Hunter were just talking about something very similar.
All right.
But, yeah.
Now that you're in the mood of Star Wars.
I'm always in the mood for Star Wars.
Let's go ahead and end this recording. Say goodbye to the Rings of Power audience that just had to deal with Star Wars talk for the last 15 minutes or whatever. And head on over to that. So thank you for watching and listening. Bye.
Deuces.